Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I want to talk to you about wind chimes. I love them. As a matter of fact, I love them so much that the pergola of my deck is kind of littered with them across the front edge, and I like to collect big ones for bass tones and little tinkly ones. And every year in the spring, I leave them out all winter because I love to listen to them in the winter. Also, I go out and determine which ones have worn out from the weathering or the strings breaking or whatever. And then I get to decide what kind of new ones I want and what tone and what size, and I get to go shopping in the spring for my inexpensive little habit on the deck. As a matter of fact, I love them so much that one of my favorite things to do in the spring and the fall is to lay out on the swing of my deck and sleep while those windy seasons ring the chimes. It's just heaven for me. So one Mother's Day, when my husband and my 3 sons asked me what I wanted, I said I wanted more wind chimes, to which my pragmatic, down-to-earth, and always practical husband said, "You don't need any more wind chimes, you have plenty." Well, I was a little crushed by that, and my feelings were a little hurt, but there was this little voice inside my head that said, well, he's right. I mean, I have a lot of wind chimes, and they're kind of an extra that we don't need. So I said, fine, get me whatever you want, and they got me something. I don't remember what it was. But as that season progressed, I would go through the home stores or even through Walgreens or other places like that, and I would see wind chimes. I remember going into the store of a Cracker Barrel restaurant and seeing a rocking chair with chimes hanging from it and just falling in love with it. And every time I would see it, I would talk myself out of it. I would say, you don't need any more wind chimes, you have plenty. And as the summer began to wear on, I would go through these aisles and stuff, and every time I was in one of these stores, I would go look at the wind chimes, and every time I would see one, and now they were on 50% off clearance, I would think to myself, you don't need any more wind chimes, you have plenty. And then one day, I saw that rocking chair wind chime, and it was on like 75% off, and it was one of the cutest things I've ever seen, and I just grabbed it, and I bought it, and I came home, and I was so excited, and I hung it up on the deck, and it took weeks for anybody to even notice I'd added a new one up there. And by then, of course, I'd already incorporated it into my napping wind chime meditation afternoons out on my deck, and nobody said anything. When the next spring came around and I pulled down the worn wind chimes, I realized something. That the voice that had been in my head the year before was not my voice, it was the voice of someone else. And while it had some truth in it, and it had harmless intention behind it, the truth was I desired new wind chimes. I wanted them. And nothing no one could say was going to change that desire. That desire was mine. And I could change it, should I choose. But it was so strong, that little desire was so strong, that it guided me through stores for weeks and weeks and weeks until finally I answered it with a purchase. Not a big deal, right? You see, but it is. We desire what we desire. Our bodies desire food. We don't tell them not to desire food. We desire water. Our very cells desire water. We don't tell ourselves not to desire water. We cannot tell someone else what they want, what they wish for, and what they desire. The mistake my husband made, God love him, was that he tried to tell me not to want something. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. My desire drove me. It drove me in a harmless, funny kind of way for weeks until I answered that desire with an action. And your desires are going to do the same thing to you. You can tell yourself that they're not reasonable. You can tell yourself that you don't want what you want. Other people can tell you you shouldn't desire that, or you don't need that, or you don't want that. And you can repeat those words in your head as much as you want. But friend, you want what you want. You desire what you desire. What is your wind chime? What is the thing that you really just want? Ask yourself if you can tell yourself the truth and turn off all the other voices. Because, friend, that's how the whole science of intention gets started. And we'll talk again about intention. But in the meantime, enjoy the fun of wanting what you want. And take care.